Let's see if this works or if I am connected to nothing. I hate the case on my AirPods. I have a feeling I am not connecting. Let's see. Wait, I am live. Okay. And I'm live over here as well. Okay. That's all I needed to know. So I am live. Delete all this. Hold on, I'm just creating a filter real quick. Newsletter Ninja. I'm not gonna nest it under anything. Create. Okay. Show if unread. Okay. Okay, my emails are all clean. Let me get back to business now. I'm like not sitting here. Oh, now my thing pops up. It took a really long time. there a way for me to just see chat and not see the activity feed? Okay, wait, I think I figured it out. Never mind. Three. Oh, wait. I think an example was Spotify. I haven't gone to Spotify in so long. Is there like a... Does Spotify not have a thing? Okay, maybe not Spotify. What was another example that I could use that would make sense? Hello, Silent Willow. I'm just plucking away writing. I am good. I'm writing another thing for my newsletter or like weekly blog post thing, whatever you want to call it, for my Substack, and it's just something else that I wanted to write, which is just some tips on writing emails that people want to read. So I'm borrowing from a list that somebody else wrote, and I'm including my own thoughts and personal experiences with how I write emails as well. Correct. I'm writing tips on writing emails. I depends on your definition, I guess. These are more like newsletters, right? Your newsletter is emailed, so it's tips on writing your newsletter, which is an email that people will read. So if that makes more sense, yeah. Um, so yeah, I guess you could say it's personal, but it's also business because your newsletter is eventually leading up to buy my thing. So, but yeah, I never think of it that way. I think of it as like, because I don't really, the only time I really write emails is at work. Like I write work emails, and then I write my newsletter, which is delivered as an email. And those are the only two real instances or thoughts that I have about emails. I don't send personal emails. I don't know who does. Like I text. I do personal texting. But so my two camps, if you will, for what defines an email is I have work email, which I wouldn't consider business email because it's not my business. I work for this company and I, you know, do 90% of my work via emails that I both receive and send. And then I have newsletters. And even if I looked at my personal email, 90% of the emails that I receive on my personal email are newsletters that I've signed up to for research. Into old school letter writing to friends. That's nice. I did that back in college. Like I would handwrite letters to friends and family, etc. Just don't have the time, you know? Like the time that I have to do my own writing is literally when my son is napping. And then if I choose to wake up at like 5 a.m. to do a couple hours of writing, or that's it. So, you know, my time is not my own anymore, and therefore it is very limited. So I have to kind of think about what I do with the little time that I have. Like I keep looking at the clock because I know that he might wake up at any moment. So I've been streaming now for half an hour, and so this is like the witching hour. Is he, because he didn't do a full nap this morning, he only did half an hour. So I'm hoping that because he didn't do his full length nap, that he will probably nap for 90 minutes. So at least another 45 minutes he'll be asleep, but you never know. And because I'm on maternity leave, I'm the one who has to go when he wakes up and everything. Like my wife and I basically have reversed our roles where she's doing work stuff and I'm like the primary person who's getting him his lunch, his breakfast, getting him up, all those things. So I just got a little bit sidetracked here. Hold on. Speaking of food, yeah, she and I both had to have a discussion today that if he does not eat dinner, it's fine because he ate a lot for breakfast and lunch. So we're both going to just, give him a little bit of what we're having. And if he eats it, great. And if he doesn't, it's fine. Not gonna, lose sleep over it. Um, Well, he is only 18 months, so we do have to make sure that he eats because otherwise he won't. So, he's not exactly fending for himself yet. Let's see. Use CTAs properly. You're not selling. Um, uh, there. Let me figure out a way to explain it without um, complicating it. So it's basically just a click through action. That's what CTA stands for. And what it means is you have a button that you want someone to click to do a thing. So let's say you have an email, you send an email, and in the email you're promoting a book, and so you have a pre-order link, and so the image of the book and the button which says, pre-order here or buy this or whatever the heck the button is gonna say, that is in essence a CTA. It's something to make that person do something, and you can track those. So it's good to have CTAs in your emails, and I don't recommend that they be CTAs that are monetarily tied, especially not in the early days, because you just want to engage with your reader and just see how much are they reading and interacting with your email. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll put a link to a resource and say, I found this very interesting. Here's a link where you can do your own deep dive. And so I want to see that people are actually clicking that link, because it means that people are absorbing the information and they're reading my emails. And I try to put those halfway down or near the bottom of the email, so that way I know that they read and got to the point where I put a link in there. So it's kind of like a trick, but not really. And it's just a way so that when you finally do put a CTA that is to buy something, to make a purchase of something that you've done that you're selling, after like 50 so emails where you've put in these CTAs that you're going to get people clicking it, that it's not going to go unnoticed. It doesn't help if you put, your very first email is buy this, and no one's going to click it. So you want to know that people are noticing that you have links in there, and everything like that. That's the other thing. A CTA, if you do it right, is not meant... It's meant for you to interact with the email, but it's also meant for you to take action on your own. So in many ways, because I do this as well, a lot of people will put, what are they called? Oh my God, my mind just went blank. Associate links? Associate doesn't sound right, but it's basically links that when a person buys something from another site, you get some money from it. So let's say I wanted to link to this book. I would put my associate link for Amazon to this book, so that when you click the link that takes you to Amazon and you buy the book, I get like 0.05% of the sale of you purchasing this book, because I use my associate link. I know that people do that. So sometimes if I'm feeling really mean, I will make sure that I don't if I want the thing, I will make sure that I use a clean link and I don't use the link from the email. So in many instances when people do that, you want to have a CTA where someone is still going to buy the thing and you can still track it. Technically, I can. So let's say, Silent Willow, you and I being the same, I send an email to you or you send an email to me. I ain't clicking your link, you ain't clicking my link, but I want the book. And let's say the book that I want is a book that I wrote. I can still track if my CTA worked, because I can still see how many of my book sold, right? So that's why you want to take metrics from multiple places. You don't just want to take metrics from one place. So before I get to the point where I'm asking you to buy something I've written, obviously I would do other things, such as having CTAs that are kind of tricky within the email itself. One of those CTAs, which a lot of people don't realize, is not even a link in the email. It's just the act of opening the email. So you might think, she can't track if I'm an active user because I have my email printed. Guess what? When you open the email, CTA number 1, check. That's all I care about right now. I just care about people opening the email. So if you don't open the email, and don't read it, then sure, I'm not tracking you. You're not a person I'm gearing my email towards. But I track when people open my email. So what's important to me right now when I look at my stats for my newsletters is right here, which is what they show me. So they show me how many people I sent the email to, and then how many people opened my email. And this is counting if you open my email multiple times. So this number is okay, but it's not the most accurate. What's actually the most accurate is down here, which is how many people of the 403 opened it at least once, whether it was through their mobile device, through their mail client, whatever the case may be. So out of 403 recipients, 333 opened this email, 44%. There were 368 total views. Like I said, this counts not just the people who receive the email, but it also counts the people who just come to Substack and come to this main page here and actually clicked on this and opened it here. So pretty good numbers, pretty decent. And I will look at, the stats that way just to see what kind of traffic am I getting, because I know that there are people like you, who are people like me, who are trying to get around being tracked. And so you really can't get around being tracked, and it depends on what you do with the information you received. So just because I have 368 people who open the email doesn't mean I'm going to have 368 people who click a link or who do an action that I asked them to do, right? So that's why you delve a bit deeper into, 10% hit the like button. Okay, that's an interaction. That's a CTA. It's not a CTA that I put. It's a CTA that Substack implements themselves. They have their own internal CTAs that get people to interact, and they track those their own way. Again, I have 10% of openers clicked a link. Specific link it doesn't show, but it says there was a link in this thing, and at least 10% of the people who opened the email, who looked at the thing, clicked the link. So this is, what you do with that information is up to you. And 10% is actually a pretty good number. Some people might say, oh, that's really low. But when you think of the amount of people who either never open your email because it goes to junk, or they don't recall or remember who the heck you are, or you consider the people who do open your email but are like you and just print it out, or would never click a link in an email in their life, 10% of any number is the sweet spot that you want, because some people, get 0%. So I'm okay with having 10% of people clicking the links. They're not links that are monetary at all. They're just a YouTube link or a link to a resource. And as long as they're clicking links, that's all I want. That's all I care about. Because by the time, I've lulled them into a false sense of security, and I finally get to the point where I've got something to sell that's going to now earn me some money, I can almost guarantee that 10% of the people at the time who open it are likely to click the link. Now, the next part is, are they likely to purchase it after they've clicked the link? That's a whole other subset of testing that you would do to see what percent of the 10% are now going to actually give you money. Right. Exactly. Yeah. So, it's all depends on how you look at it, which is why a lot of people will say, having 2 million followers on Twitter means nothing if less than 1% would actually subscribe to your newsletter or buy the thing you're selling. What does 2 million mean? It means nothing. You've got nothing. that's why having an actual person's email is more valuable than how many followers you've got on Instagram or TikTok, because those people aren't real. Those people could be, half of them could be bots and fake. So email is a different ball game because it's personal. You don't give your email out to everyone or just anyone. For the most part, we are very private about where and how we distribute and share our email, because you know we get junk email all the time, and so it's what you do with that. And because of that, you need to be very careful with how you treat your email, how you write it, how you send it, how it's perceived. Yeah, 10% is pretty good. Because then you get into the realm of like a fan base and having, super fans, which I'm always talking about. I want to get my 1,000 super fans. And the way you get 1,000 super fans is by using the 10% rule. Some people will actually use 7% just to be just so that they don't get themselves too hype, so they will make the bar harder. But you want at least 10,000. So if you have at least 10,000 newsletter subscribers, then you can almost guarantee that 10% of them are going to buy the thing that you sell, whatever that thing happens to be. So really, you don't want to try to get 1,000 super fans. You want to try to just get 10,000 email list subscribers. If you can do that, then you're golden. That's why someone like Garrett does really well, because I know, because I've asked him, he's got close to 20,000 email subscribers, and that's a very good, like, gold mine list to have, because he knows that when he sends an email, if 10% of them, just 10%, buy whatever it is he's selling whenever he sells it, that's earning a living. You know what I mean? And let's say he's only producing 3 books a year. You start calculating the math in your head. People buying ebooks, people buying the print book, people buying the hardcover, people buying the box set, people buying the audiobook, and calculate those numbers, and they add up. So you want to have, like, that's my dream. If I could get an email list that's in the upper 10,000, that would be amazing. I'm close to 1,000 right now. I'm at about 1,200, which is still pretty, for me, that those are pretty epic numbers, but I need to, like, really get up there in the numbers. And so it takes a lot of work. It doesn't just happen overnight. No one, I mean, well, let me not say no one. There are some people who do that, and I question those kinds of people. But even Garrett doesn't produce 3 books a year. Let's be for real. He's lucky if he does one every 5. But let's see. It's helpful to at least know just how much your subscribers are interacting with the email you send. Or not how, but what you choose to do with the keep looking at my phone because I'm expecting my wife to text me to say he's awake. I know it's coming. Okay. Oh, right. I need the thing. I think it has to do with. What's the next one? PS. PS. How many words have I done so far? Because I feel like this is getting long. Oh, it's not that long. Okay, it's only 1,300. That's not too bad. word. My wife is texting me about something. Okay. Welcome back. I'm just on the section about removing unengaged subscribers, and it's reminding me of an email I received like a few weeks ago, which was crazy. I received an email from MailChimp. I haven't received an email from MailChimp in years, ever since I left them back in like, when did I leave MailChimp? 2020, 2019, I think. I think it was right around or before the pandemic hit. I decided that I needed to leave MailChimp because they were horrible. And lo and behold, a few weeks ago, they sent me an email to inform me that they've changed the rules on having a free MailChimp account. And I think the reason why they sent me the email is because while I stopped using MailChimp, I don't think I closed out, like completely deleted my account with them. So that's why they sent it, because they probably sent it to everyone. But they went from having, what I recall, 2,000, you could have 2,000 email addresses and still have a free, and MailChimp could be free for you to use. And I remember there was a lot of rules, and they were making a lot of rules, and then you were grandfathered in, and they were making all of these different changes. And that's why I left, because it was like, it was getting ridiculous that they were trying to slowly but surely remove a lot of the things that were free and put them behind their like base level paid thing. And for me, it just doesn't pay to pay if I'm not earning anything from my newsletter. Like, I can understand other people wanting to do that. Great, good for you, but I'm not gonna pay like $50 a month in order to send an email once a month. Like, that's crazy. Well, just a few weeks ago, they decided to lower the cap of how many free emails, actual emails you can have. And not only that, but how many you could send a month, because that was the other thing. You could have 2,000 emails, but you could only send somewhere around like 5,000 or 10,000 emails in any given month. So if you had 2,000 emails that you were emailing, that basically meant that you couldn't send more than like one email a week, because once you hit that cap of like 10,000 emails that you sent in that month, you then couldn't send any more emails until the next month rolled around. Well, now they changed it, where it's 500. So you can't have more than 500 emails on your email list. And you couldn't, and I think you can't send more than like, it's either 1,000 or 2,000 emails in any given month, which is like such a restriction, because I mean, I could never be there. Like, if once you go over that cap, you then have to pay in order to get the unlimited or increase the number of emails you can have on your list and subscribers, blah, blah, blah. But I can't believe that they actually lowered it, because up until the point that I left, if I were to have recommended, before I found Substack, that is, I would have recommended MailChimp, because there's ConvertKit, there's MailerLite, and then there's MailChimp. And of the three, MailChimp was the one that had the largest number of subscribers that you could have and still have a free account, and the largest number of emails you could send in a month without, again, and still have a free account. MailChimp was 1,000 subscribers that you can have on your list, and then ConvertKit was like you have to pay us. Like, we're not giving you a free anything. Their free was not even worth looking at. But it's like the industry standard for a lot of people who have a newsletter where they earn money from their newsletter. I would say 98% of them use ConvertKit. All of that to say, I'm so glad that I left MailChimp, because it seems like they're starting to make themselves want to be more like ConvertKit, and probably it's because they realize that there are too many people mooching off of their free stuff and using up a lot of their server space, and they're not paying for it. Which is why I think it's crazy and insane how Substack is able to do what they do and not charge. And you can have an unlimited number of on your email list, and you can send an unlimited number of emails every month. And it's free. Like, they don't ask me for anything until I start earning money, and then they take 7%, I think. 5%. It's definitely not more than 10. I think it's 5 or 7% that they take for their cut. But again, only once I start, like, I turn on the pay feature. But if I choose to never do that, I could have 20,000 on my email list, and they would never charge me a dime. And I could send an email every single day, 20,000 emails a day, and they would not ding me, charge me, or anything like that. So why the heck is MailChimp doing this? I don't know. Now, there could come a time where Substack could say their servers are overworked and they can no longer afford to carry the weight of all of us freeloaders, and we have to start paying if our lists exceed this number. They could totally do that at any point. And at that point, I could just do what I did when I left MailChimp, is take my email list and run to, the next service that you can do this thing for free. So it is what it is, or I pay whatever it is that they charge me. But let this be the last time I rant about MailChimp again for another 3 years, right? I feel like it always comes up because I know people still use MailChimp. And like you said, I'm very irate with them. I can't believe how much they are just trying to milk money from people. Okay. I'm so glad. I feel like it was meant to happen this way. The way that I found Substack was purely by accident. I happened to be, 'cause again, it was during COVID, and a lot of the events that normally you would not only have to go to in person, like writing events and things like that, but you would have to pay. And so a lot of those events decided to do them not only online for people who clearly, because of COVID, you couldn't go anywhere, but decided to make them free because they knew that people were going out of their minds, staying home. A lot of people lost their jobs, so they couldn't afford these conventions that would normally happen in person. And so I decided to join one. I don't even remember which one it was, couldn't tell you, but the one that I joined, I was watching an interview with Elle Griffin, who mentioned Substack, and I'm all about Google. And so the second she mentioned it and mentioned how she was using it, I was like, wait, what? It's a thing that it's free and it's unlimited? No way. And at the time, I think I was using MailerLite and ConvertKit at the same time, and I was trying to figure out which one I was going to land on because ConvertKit had a lot of things going for it, but I would have had to pay. And then MailerLite, luckily my email list wasn't above 1,000, so I knew that I could use MailerLite if necessary for the time being until I found something. And so I was really grinding my gears about the whole thing, not wanting to do any of that. And then this fell into my lap where I just heard the word Substack and I instantly, Googled it. And within a couple of hours, I had moved my list. I had taken all of my emails. I had said sayonara to MailChimp and I was out. Um, it was a quick transition, a quick like turnaround. I was like, there ain't no way. Like this is it. This is what I needed. It allows me to do what I do on Patreon here. It allows me to do what I do on my website with a blog. Like it allows me to take 3 or 4 different avenue of things that I was doing and put them all in one place. Yep. It was one of the best decisions I made back in like 2019 when I made it. Um to constantly chip away. Um yeah, MailChimp is just not. It's maybe it's worth it because they don't have if you were earning money, like I know people who have like email lists that are in the 100,000s that, I know someone who has an email list that's like 117,000, right? In those cases, it might be more beneficial to use something like a ConvertKit or even a MailChimp because they are optimized for making sure that you earn the most money from that email list, and they provide the most important details that you would need to know, and they provide the ability to automate emails, which Substack doesn't have. You can make it so that each person who is a subscriber gets a unique experience with your newsletter, so that if they interact and click a specific link in a newsletter you send, they will get a different set of experiences based on the way that they interact with your newsletter. And that's certain nuances that you can't get with Substack, so you do lose a little because of what you get. But if you use Substack right, you won't notice those losses. So, it's a catch-22 really on what you do. So, for me personally, I think if I entered the realm of, 30 or 40,000 subscribers, something stupid like that, and I felt like I wasn't getting the right engagement as I grew and I was earning money, I probably would move to ConvertKit, not MailChimp, God, never. But I probably would move to ConvertKit because they would be able to help me set up a set of rules and automations that I could never do on Substack that would essentially pull more money for me from my list than Substack could or than I could on my own. Um, I'm probably never going to reach that level, but I know that if I do, there is a place for me to go. And that's because that's the place where everybody else goes. That's the thing that everybody else uses. But for now, Substack is it. It's a great place to grow. And so once you grow beyond your wildest dreams and expectations, then you move on. But, Substack has made so many leaps and so many just advances in what they do and what they provide. It is very possible that in the next 5 to 10 years, they look more and more or provide more and more services similar to a ConvertKit or a MailChimp, but they still do it in a way where those services remain free and they're not asking me to pay for it. Let's see, 11. Actually, I think I'm gonna stop at 10, just because I don't want. I try not to write these things to be like over 2,000 words if I can help it. I try to stay under 2,000 words for these kind of posts, just because I know people's time is valuable, and so I don't want to take up too much of it. Okay, so let's go here and let's create. And one of the things I'm running into is that I'm writing all of these posts and I'm scheduling them every week. And so now at this point I have blog posts going through mid-April, which is great on one hand, but on the other hand, my concern is when something comes up that's in the now that people are talking about and engaging about right now, I want to be able to write about it. And if I do, I end up having to schedule it for like 2 months later when that new news is old news. And so it's difficult to have this schedule, because if something comes up and I'm like, oh man, everyone's talking about that new thing Amazon did or whatever the case may be, if I want to release it right now, I would have to then change all the dates for everything that I have scheduled, because I don't want, to release two things in the same week or something like that. So it's a gamble that I take when I do this. But okay, so April 12th. April 12th. Oh, so this is going to be 10 tips. And I might actually change the way that's written now that I think about it. 10 tips for writing. Just so that it's more clear. A newsletter people want to read. I don't have any bonus tips tacked on, so I'm going to not take that subtitle. I am going to take this and paste it. I want to do I want to do that? Probably not. I just want to make sure there's no bigger gaps than there are. Okay, so this is going to be for April 12th. Oh, I need to find an image. I forgot about that. Why does it say upgrade Twitter permissions? I don't know what that. They've been doing something, and I know it's Twitter, not Substack, but it's been really acting up. April 12th. I think I've been doing 8 a.m. God, I can't remember. It's either 8 or 9 a.m. that I've been having these things go out. Let's find an image that we can use. Shall we? Oh, you know what? Now that I just remembered 2 bonus things I wanted to put at the end. I'll write it right in here. You would have performance issues if you ever had so many subs, especially if they were paid. I don't know how would you have performance issues, because technically the what is it called? The power you needed to send the email to all of those subscribers would come from Substack, not from you. I mean, unless you were hosting the email server on your computer, which you wouldn't be, it would be on Substack to have the power required after you hit the send button to then deliver the goods to where they're going. You know what I mean? So unless you were unable to write an email because you don't have the bandwidth to just write an email, the rest of it you don't have to worry about with performance issues. If I understand what you mean when you say that you would have performance issues. That would be on Substack to make sure that they have the server capacity and power to deliver when you hit send. And as far as I know, they would. Okay, Simply Safe is canceled. You can take it elsewhere. Yay. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you could have a computer from like 1992 and that wouldn't change. If you have paid subscribers, or of my own success. Oh, well, it is what it is. If you don't do it, then you'll never know. that's my motto this year is, I can talk about how I'm so nervous. What do I do? I mean, right now I'm a nervous wreck because I just, I got like 500 subscribers for my, Beyond the Wizard newsletter that I wasn't expecting, that I didn't promote for. I didn't do anything for it. They all just found me. And so, it's nerve-wracking to think that they're reading stuff that I'm writing, total perfect strangers who are packaged perfectly because they're readers of fiction. And it's, every time I get an unsubscribe, which I've been getting lately, which has been a new thing for me, because up until, a couple weeks ago, I was just getting people subscribing. So now I'm getting unsubscribers, and I'm wondering, are they unsubscribing because they're not liking what I'm writing? So I'm getting nervous about it. But at the end of the day, if I don't keep doing it, I'll never know. So unless I get to the point where like 12 months from now, I go from having 500 subscribers on this thing to 0, I'm going to get unsubscribers. And you know what? I'd rather they unsubscribe than just stay dead and dormant on my list. Because I'm going to end up removing them myself anyway, So But yeah, I mean, you can being nervous is good. If you're not nervous, then I'd be concerned, because that means you're being too cocky and overconfident, and that can be bad. That can be worse than being nervous, I think. You don't want to be confident and cocky, because then when it doesn't work and when you get, slapped in the face with reality, that can sting even more because you were just expecting that you were just going to be freaking awesome and you weren't. So it's better to be nervous and have the bar so low that a mouse can walk over it, can surpass it, and just be so thrilled and satisfied with whatever you get, than to expect awesome because other people are doing so well, and then be devastated when you don't do as good as they did. Um, oh my god, what? Oh, okay. And then the other bonus tip I wanted to do was what? Oh boy. Let me think. There was something else. I thought of it and I didn't write it down fast enough. It has to do with fiction specifically. It'll come to me. There was two things. It was like clear as day in my head. Okay, so I already put April 12th, right? Oh yes. I have not looked at the SEO options for this because I have so many posts here. I have 190, I think. And so I don't want to drive myself crazy trying to fix the SEO for all 190 on here. It would be a losing battle. So I've intentionally not done it, but I did update the SEO for all of the posts over on Beyond the Wizard, just because it was only a handful, so it was really easy for me to do it. But this is another improvement that Substack has made in the last year, where they've added some SEO options for people who know about SEO, who use it, who you know who need it, etc. But anyway, it's already 4:10. My wife is gonna start dinner in like 20 minutes, so whether he's awake or not, I'm gonna have to go downstairs and wake him up. So I am going to end the stream here, but thank you all. Oh, Travis just started streaming, so maybe I will go toss him a what is it called when you go to a person's stream? I haven't done it in so long. I don't remember what it's called. Raid, right? God, I'm just okay. Now I gotta figure out how do I do that. I had to type some sort of is it slash raid and then the channel? Okay. I don't know. What is his channel? I'm off to get some work done. Enjoy, Travis Tavern. I will not be here Wednesday because my son has a doctor's appointment in the morning and it's Ash Wednesday, so I'm going to try to also get my ashes. So I will, if I'm able to stream on Wednesday, it'll probably be the afternoon, but like I said, I doubt it because we have so much to do in the morning. When we get back, we're probably all going to be very exhausted. So Wednesday is out for streaming this week. But I'll see if I could do this again, maybe tomorrow. Just come right up here when I put him down for his nap at 2:30. So we'll see. Otherwise, he's out, weeps.